Hello, friends. I suddenly had the hit that I needed to check in with Erik Prince and what he was doing while Donald was abroad, what kind of negotiations he was part of, and what is he doing, planning, conspiring with others here in the United States, because I feel like his mercenaries might even be in the U.S. You know, there's somehow he's involved with the protection of the trumpets. I don't know. So, universe, help me out here. I feel like you wanted to send me a message and about Erik Prince. So let's have at it. In this past week, what is it that you want to let me know about Erik Prince? Okay, signifier. Look how beat up these cards are. Can you believe it? This is just, I feel like they're going to fall apart in my hand. They're only 6 months old. Okay, what's covering Erik Prince and what he's doing this week? What was the challenge? I'm actually surprised that we don't hear more about him in the news because he is really a key figure. I don't know if you know this, but he, gets his mercenaries from Latin America. And, he has that frontier group that he started in China, to help out with logistics, which is actually, I think, corralling up the Muslims. They have over 1 million Muslims in concentration camps in China. Let's see. What do people see? You, Erik Prince, this week. I'm sorry, I needed to concentrate. But that's the kind of work he does. Environment, Erik Prince. Environment. Hopes and dreams. Dreams, emotions. Plans, ideals. Or actually, ideals, dreams, and what's to come. Card for the reading. What do we have? We have, the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man. He has a different perspective. Okay, I have to interrupt my own reading here because I was editing and this card came up as the card of the reading for Erik Prince. And just within the past hour, I did a reading about that horrible anti-abortion measure that they've taken in Missouri. Tonight, Maddow reported about how women are now going to be required to have an additional medically unnecessary invasive procedure with a pelvic exam 3 days prior to an abortion, which is just re-traumatizing and forcefully making patients and doctors consent to being assault or assaulting another. It's horrible. And so when I did that reading, I had also talked about how there's a lot of Russia in St. Louis, and I'm sorry, St. Louis, Missouri. I said I didn't like you guys. I meant to say I don't like your legislation that comes out of your state, because I know a lot of good people in St. Louis and in Missouri. So anyway, this came up as a signifier and for the environment, and I thought that was interesting when I was doing the reading, that the environment would come up with the Hanged Man needing a new perspective. And I hypothesized that had to do with just trying to get Russia out of the discussion. But when I was talking about Russia, I was describing the ties with St. Louis. I had also referenced that their former governor, Eric Greitens, very good friends with Erik Prince. and Dana Rohrabacher, and I know that he has very questionable funds and where they came from, especially with his inauguration that he's refusing to report. He was forced out of office. And so, doing that reading, I had this card as the environment, and here with Erik Prince, this was the card of the reading. And when I looked back at the prior reading at about the 30-second mark, I said, Erik, what are you up to in the United States? Somehow he's involved with the trumpets in the United States. And so I want to clarify here about Erik Prince and what happened with St. Louis and that really rigid, awful anti-abortion legislation they have going that the governor signed. So I want to ask the tarot, was the Hanged Man in St. Louis related to Erik Prince and his mercenaries? And if they were, tell me more. Tell me all that I need to know about that. It's the most important thing. So what do we have here? We have Erik Prince. Were you part of that in St. Louis? Oh, there you go. Yes, he was. Ace of Cups. My goodness. Emotional, divisive idea. And aces are yeses. Tell me a little bit more about that. We have the King of Cups. You know who that is? That's Putin. Oh my gosh, we got verified again. We have the Chariot. It's happening fast. The Chariot is the card for how they deliver their propaganda machine everywhere. So yeah, so this was part of the propaganda machine. That's how it got delivered. Erik Prince, I think. Erik Prince was the deliverer, the go-between. And future. More secrets. More secrets are going to be related to this. My thoughts are that they're going to use all this outrage that they find on social media. They will do some data mining to do further targeting and suppression of voters, because the more outraged we are, the more it shows up in patterns in social media, and then they can identify accounts, and then they can identify accounts and email addresses, and then they can take that information and figure out if you're from St. Louis or you know someone from St. Louis and what other voters do you know, etc., etc., etc. That's another reason why they plant this stuff. And it's also because they need money and fundraising, dark money, so that they can fund their operation to guarantee their win with the elections. Yeah. Okay, one last one. We have Five of Cups. What's at the base of this? Disappointment, despair. A lot of despair and depression. Yeah. What did I have on the bottom here? I had, the Knight of Swords. Brad Parscale bludgeoning us with their disinformation and their propaganda. They're all involved. And yes, Erik Prince was involved with what happened in St. Louis and this legislation, in my opinion. Don't mess with the tarot. Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, signifier. What do we have here? We have, the moon. Erik Prince's treachery, deceit, lies. It was especially active this past week. It's covering him. Oh, I see a tower. Jared Kushner, his signifier last week was the tower. The challenge for Erik Prince is, getting his plan off the ground. Having some issues there. What's at the base? Oh my goodness. This is all bearing down on him. His nightmares, his treachery. I haven't seen this much with Erik Prince, I think ever, because he's got that arrogance going on. What's crowning his reading? 9 Wands. He's embattled, battle weary, but he's gonna go the distance. What happened in the past? The offers that Donald made for him. I'm sure you got lots. Future? Oh, revelation. Boy, I hope this is around the corner. By the way, Erik Prince is a Cancer. I think his birthday is, or is he a Gemini? There's a lot of Gemini energy with this administration. First of all, Trump and Pence. No, Erik Prince is a Cancer. He has that being a Navy SEAL, defending the home and the military. But yeah, he's going to get eclipsed in July. He's going to really feel it, and especially by next January. How do people see Erik Prince and his plan and what he's doing? There you go, Six Swans Mob. The environment. Ooh. He is blinded. He cannot, you know what? He cannot see what's ahead of him. He's so blinded by it, and he's being forced to deal with some things that he probably wasn't anticipating, and probably would just like to be in denial and let them go. But look at this moon. Eclipse triggers. He's in the thick of it. The emotions. Ooh, it is happening quickly. Picking up pace. Oh. Okay. This is dreams, ideals. This could be a couple things. I know there has been one, a concerted effort to attack Nancy Pelosi with the propaganda, this whole narrative about Democrats not being in disarray. They're using a different word right now, but that is all propaganda driven, purchased, brought, and bought to you by Jared and Trump. This is also my Vladimir Putin card, because when you have Jupiter and Gemini, Jupiter expands things. Gemini is communication. When he launches his version of that, it entraps people. It keeps us bound up and blinded. We don't know where everything's coming from. So hopes and ideals, I'm betting he's hoping that Putin's going to help him out. And what's to come? Oh, this is New York. New York courts. That has to do with money as well. So I bet he has a money trail, because today I was getting a clear message that Nancy has evidence on Donald and money and Russia. I think that's why she said I'd rather see him in prison, because she knows the goods. She's got the goods, or it's been shared with her. So on this D-Day, thank you all for your service, except for you treacherous traitors here. We're going to get you. We're going to get you. This is not how democracy works. And you guys, we've had enough. Okay, thanks for watching. Good night. Dreams, ideals. It's assaulting women with disinformation. It's attacking women. It's to divide the electorate. How Kremlin-y.